Hello there, welcome to Genesis Models. My name is Bobby Waldron, and in this video we're going to be having an in-box review of a kit from Airfix, which is in 1/72 scale, and it is of the Junkers Ju-87B-1 Stuka. Really cool aircraft from World War II. Really cool artwork as usual from Airfix. Just around the sides we do have, like, it does show you a couple of pictures of an unpainted finished version of our Stuka here. You will notice it does say right in the corner here cartograph decals, so we know we've got the best decals in the world in this kit. We do have also two different marking options as well, for the Luftwaffe and for some Spanish Stuka. So open up the box. We'll start off with our first couple of sprues here, which what we have our first sprue here. All our sprues are all grey sprues. There is 4 sprues altogether and 1 clear sprue. Typical Airfix type plastic. Now, our surface detail, I'll just bring you in even closer. Our surface detail is very typical Airfix surface detail. As you can see, we've got really crisp, really sharp, really good recessed panel lines. They are, as always, a little bit out of scale, maybe a bit too big, but still looking good, but also lacking rivets, which is, as I say, very typical of Airfix. We have an array of weapons along here as well, which is rather cool, well detailed as well. We do have a fair bit of flash as well going around our seats. We do have a seat belt as well, just on this seat, which is rather nice. Again, you might be able to see bits of flash here and there. Working our way around, we have instrument display panel. As you can see, no detail on there, which is, I thought Airfix had stopped doing all that no detail business, but there you go, no detail on there. We have some sort of internal detail, which I do believe is like the bottom of the cockpit area. Recessed panel lines in there, not looking too bad at all. Our next sprue, we have again another wing section, the top of the wing section, which strangely enough, this kit is showing quite a bit of flash actually, and it's supposed to be a brand spanking new mold, brand new for 2016, like March I think it was released. And I'm even feeling just where the recessed panel lines, that there's a bit of flash actually coming up and out of the recessed panel lines, which is not what you want to see from a brand new kit. Even our wheels here, hopefully you've just seen, there's quite a bit of flash sort of coming off our wheels there, and then it gets really sort of bad over here, lots of flash, which is rather disappointing actually. I was quite looking forward to this kit, but there you go. Then we've got some more wheels at the back here, details not looking too bad. Moving along, we have some engine cowl sections here, which, the detail, surface detail on this is actually not looking too bad. We've got rivets and recessed panel lines, looking good. An air intake just here, not bad detail going on there. Our propeller, again, I don't know if you've seen it, but we've got flash coming off the propeller as well. Our exhausts, actually look rather finely detailed. They do go quite deep into those holes there, which is going to be good for our exhaust there, so that's rather good. And then we move to the cockpit section, the fuselage section. Again, we've got the same sort of level of surface detail going on all over there. There's a lot of nice recessed panel lines, 1 or 2 rivets, like literally I could probably count them, 4 rivets on either one. Pilots, actually the pilots do look rather well detailed in there. It looks like they've both got the same sort of pose, but they do look well detailed nevertheless. Then we have this sort of bottom section of our fuselage section, same surface detail. We've got some detail, some wires in there, that's not looking too bad at all. We've got our flaps here at the back, lots of sort of small little pieces coming off this, a little bit of flash on there as well. But yeah, not looking too bad. Oh, we've got some internal detail here, which we've got lots of little bits of detail, raised bits, buttons, dials, that sort of thing. We've got a big whopping ejector pin mark just in this little square here, but the way that's positioned, that can be easily filled in and then sanded away, so I'm not too worried about that one. That's the only sort of bad ejector pin mark I've seen, and as I say, it's not too bad. Then we're looking at some of our decals again by Cartograph, so we know they're going to be, you know, some of the best decals in the world. They look, the colours look great. It looks nicely in registry, no problems there. It's got like a nice matte finish to it, as you can see, looks fantastic. Then we have our instrument display panel just here, and as you saw on the actual sprues, there's no detail on the instrument display panel. You're relying solely on these decals, which is a shame, but there you go, you've got some sort of detail anyway. The instructions, we'll have a quick look at our instructions. As typical Airfix, you do get that little bit of an explanation. Let's just bring you in on the top cam a bit closer. As you can see, you know, get that bit of an explanation on the aircraft. And moving along, we do have this sort of bottom of the fuselage half section going on here, where we put our cockpit detail in, which doesn't seem too bad, but then as we sort of go through, it does seem like they're sort of overcomplicated, because normally you know, World War II fighters is like two fuselage halves come together, the wing sections come together, two halves, and then you bring the wing section and fuselage halves together. You know, it is pretty sort of simple, but with this one we have this sort of bottom of the fuselage section, which then you get the top part of the wing section, glue that onto that, and then it wants you to then come along and then glue in the bottom half of the wing section onto that. You know, what's going on there? It's a little bit different. Does this mean there's going to be some fit issues? Possibly, you know, because the more they complicate things, it's more of a fit issue problem, possibly. I've not fitted this together, so I'm not saying it's going to be, but we then do have this engine cowl section here, which, again, they're overcomplicating it, because what we've got here is, instead of like the two fuselage halves coming together and that's it, what we've got is we've got two engine cowl halves coming together, then we've got the top part of the engine cowl coming on top of that, and then that turns into one piece, which then you then slot that into the fuselage half. So, you know, again, the fit could actually be absolutely perfect and it's no problems, but the more you sort of go off and complicate it and just kind of fit all these different pieces together, the more join lines you've got, the more potential you've got to be like filling, sanding, scribing and sorting all that kind of stuff out, which, if we had an actual engine in the kit, all that there wouldn't be a big deal, but we don't have an engine in the kit. It's like a lot of work for no point, but you know, again, it might just fit together perfectly, so it might not be such a big deal. You do have all your flaps and slats and everything, which is quite cool. I don't think you can actually move them. I didn't see anywhere that you could actually move them in a specific position or anything. Nice array of weapons and choices there for weapons. And then, of course, you know, you can have your canopies in the open or closed positions. And then we also have a splinter camo pattern for the Luftwaffe and a splinter camo pattern for for the Spanish Air Force. So there's the instructions, and they were sort of a sort of normal matte kind of quality, typical Airfix kind of instructions with a bit of colour in there to help you along. And then we come to the last bit, which is the disappointing part of this kit, and that is our canopy section. Now, I don't know how well you're going to see this on camera. I'm probably thinking you might pick it up quite easily because it is quite bad, but we do have like a lot of it's sort of like, they look like it's been really sort of scratched in the box. We've got another piece here. I don't know while you're going to see that, but look at all them sort of scratches going on with this piece here. Absolutely terrible, actually. Not looking good whatsoever, especially on this piece here. The front cockpit section. I don't think you're picking that up on camera, but this is rather sort of, it looks like there's lots of little cracks going on in there. Again, I'm not sure you're picking it up on camera, but it is rather bad. And generally the cockpits are looking like it's very sort of a Ripley effect going on throughout the whole cockpit area. We've got little bits of again, I don't think you're going to pick it up on camera, but we have got all this sort of, it's sort of like got cobweb effects. It looks like there's lots of cracks in there. It looks like it's very sort of rough. It's not going to look that good. And looking at it as well, it doesn't look like it's something that we can just come along and just sand out. It looks like it's those kind of cobweb type effects as well, where it sort of goes right down to the core of the plastic, so you can't sand them out. So it is rather a disappointment. So all in all, I think the kit is slightly a bit of a disappointing kit, and it's a kit I wouldn't potentially recommend. Although it is a brand spanking new tool, it could go together absolutely perfect, but it is Airfix, so it's, you know, they do fit rather well these days, Airfix does, but there's still that potential of there being like a fit issue here and there. But the fact of there's so much flash, which is a bit disappointing, but not really a big problem. Ejector pin marks are virtually non-existent in bad places. But yeah, that canopy really does sort of put it off for me, because the problem is with modelling, I mean, you can have loads and loads of problems with a kit, and there's always going to be a way of fixing them. But when it comes to canopies, it's one thing that manufacturers really do need to make sure they're on the ball about, because there's not much you can do to fix a canopy. Really, to get these looking really good, I mean, really, you kind of got to go off and make your own sort of vacuum foam canopies from these as like an original, or go out and buy some aftermarket like vacuum foam canopies to be able to fix this problem. You know, so it really is, as I say, something that manufacturers really need to make sure they're on the ball about, because it isn't something that you can easily fix. However, I mean, someone who's a beginner coming to the hobby might not be too bothered about these canopies, but I'm pretty sure that you sort of advanced guys out there won't be too happy with these canopies, and you'd want to sort of get rid of all this, the scratches that, well, they look like scratches, but they're more sort of almost looks like a crack type thing going on there. So it is rather a disappointing problem for the kit. Personally, I would be looking for other manufacturers of a Stuka 1/72 scale if I really wanted to build a Stuka, or even be looking at 1/48 scale or 1/32 scale, just to find an alternative Stuka out there. Personally, as I say, you know, for those of you who are beginners, you might not find those canopies too much of a problem. The price of this kit is really nice. It is only about £11.99, so it's not that expensive either. But apart from that, I mean, yeah, it's not too bad, but not really recommended for all you advanced modelers out there. So hopefully this video has been beneficial to you, of whether you want to sort of go out and buy this or not, or whether it's your cup of tea or not. So yeah, until next time, my name's Bob Waldron, this is Genesis Models, and I hope you've enjoyed this inbox review.